Alright, so 3.22 has been up for a while, and I want to talk about it. The first thing I want to talk about is team elimination. This is the new game mode that has replaced solo elimination. I absolutely love it, and judging by the player populations, I think a lot of players enjoy it as well. It's an excellent game mode. You don't have the pressure of solo elimination, you don't have to really worry about being a hardcore sweaty in it, and it's a lot of fun. Also, what's great about it, and this is very important, is that you're only allowed to wear medium armor. And this is how I feel things should be going forward from now on, because we're in a balancing phase, we're in a testing phase. We can't really balance light and heavy until we get medium where it has to be, because before you would just wear heavy armor. Well, right now, that's not an option, and let's just really test these weapons and get a good idea of how they feel. So, team elimination, mwah, chef's kiss, love it. If I could make one change, however, to team elimination, it would be that I would increase the amount of points it takes to win, because sometimes those matches can be over very quickly. You don't get a whole lot of time to really enjoy the game that way. But it was not just team elimination that was added, there were a lot of changes. So let's talk about some of the ones that I like. The first one is dynamic recoil. I like this a lot. It makes the weapons feel a lot better, there's more control required from the player to land accurate shots. Overall, it feels pretty good. I would like to see a bit more impact from dynamic recoil, meaning I don't feel like I have to control it too much, and I don't think I'm that good. So maybe if it was a little bit more harsher, if that's the correct word to use, I would like to see that. There were a slew of weapon changes as well, way too many to go over in this video. Overall impressions, I enjoy them. I like where LMGs are, I like where ARs for the most part are, except for the Karna rifle and the Gallant. Submachine guns, with the exception of the Lumen, feel fantastic. Shotguns always suck. There's no point in talking about them. They're probably going to be addressed. The grenade launcher, it's definitely undertuned. I'm sure that's going to also be addressed. And the sniper rifles, I'm not a big fan. I see the P6 all the time. And honestly, from using it, I don't really see a reason to use anything else but that weapon. At least when we're talking about sniper rifles anyway. And finally, the TTK. As you know, if you've been following this channel, I'm a big proponent of a longer time to kill. Right now, according to CIG, they're going for a 0.9 second TTK. I'm assuming this is on medium armor. I would like that extra millisecond to bring it up to a 1 second be the goal. Just my opinion. But in general, I think that if we get a comfortable TTK of at least 1 second on medium, that will give us a pretty good area to balance around. So overall, it feels really good. People like to say crazy things about the TTK, turning targets into bullet sponges. Well, you know, watch the footage in the background, it doesn't feel like it. I think a lot of those misconceptions of the TTK being way too high and targets being bullet spongy is due to bugs like hit reg and desync, which again, CIG is aware of if you heard my crazy rant video, so no point in covering that. But not everything is rosy and happy sunshine kisses. There are some things I do not like. The first one is MedPen healing. So, caveat, I like the fact that it heals you from 1 to 100%. I enjoy that. What I don't enjoy is that you can spam them. You can just chuck them in you with absolutely no thought. Ironically, this does allow you to take targets on 1v2 or 3 with fast movement and desync and warping and all that, but it's not very good for the game, and I think it looks kind of silly. But I don't want the MedPen not to heal from 1 to 100. So what I would do is maybe make it a heal over time, something that requires you to get into cover and use and hold that position. This gives your opponent a chance to rush you down while you're healing. Nothing too extreme, just not instantly going from 1 to 100. So give it a little bit of time to work there, make you take cover. This would also encourage a bit of teamwork, which would have you going back and healing while your friends covered you. The other thing I don't like is the strafe speed, the ability to go AD left and right. The speed is way too high. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of heft or weight to the momentum. I just think it doesn't work in a game like this. This is not Quake or Unreal. So being able to rapidly strafe left and right, it's silly and it's not very good for the game. It also doesn't really incentivize me to crouch and lean behind corners or take cover. I'd rather just get into a strafe fight, hit AD, get a little bit of warp in there, and spray my target down. Don't like it. I really hope that CIG reduces the strafe movement speed. I think it would be a lot better for the game. Another movement-based issue that I have is stamina just doesn't seem to mean anything. I just can run forever. I can shoot accurately when I'm out of breath versus not out of breath. I don't like just sprinting everywhere. I think it's silly. It's way too much like other games, and I don't think that really fits in a game like this. Stamina should be a resource, something that you use and you control, that you want to have built up to use to get away or to reposition very quickly. Not something you just mindlessly hold down, sprint, and pretend like it's not even there. So stamina could definitely use a bit more of an impact in the game. And if you make stamina more impactful or a manageable resource, you could then address jumping. I jump a lot. I jump and shoot. I jump all over. I jump to evade. I do things that I would normally do in other games. Jumping should be a traversal movement, not a combat movement. I shouldn't run around a corner, strafe around a corner even, jump, crouch, and just start spraying people down. I do it all the time. It shouldn't work. It's silly. It's not that kind of game. So if you get the stamina working, you can make the jumping tie into that stamina, and now you have a bit of resource management. And finally, this is one I don't think a lot of people have noticed, but the hit markers are always at the center of your screen no matter what. Before we had dynamic recoil, that didn't really matter too much, but now with dynamic recoil, I believe your red dot sights and even your iron sights or your gun in general, it tries to follow where the weapon is pointing as a result of the recoil. Well, if the hit markers are showing up in the center of the screen, it flashes there, right? And you see that. Your eyes get naturally drawn to that. So you're like, oh, well, I'm hitting the target. So you keep shooting and shooting, and then you're like, well, why am I missing? Oh, it must be buggy. It must be the TTK. It must be hit reg. Well, no, it's the dynamic recoil taking over, but your eyes are being drawn to the hit marker at the center of your screen. And I'm going to show you a video here, a little clip. I'm going to slow it down. I want you to watch, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. It is absolutely the most noticeable on a C54, or any whip with a lot of recoil. So it looks like the sights are either misaligned or the hit markers aren't really following where you're shooting at. Most games, when you're shooting and you're aiming down the sights, it's always dead center of the screen no matter what. But you can see there that it's not. So you're aiming at the red dot, and it's not at the center of your screen, but the hit markers are still at the center of your screen. I'm fairly confident that CIG will fix this, but I think it was something that, if it did exist, we just didn't notice it before because people died so quickly. Or it is a product of the new recoil system. I don't know, but I think the industry standard has a lot better in terms of information feedback with the hit markers and the centering of the sights, and I'm sure this game will get there as well. And as always, force reactions. I don't like them on anything that's not ordnance. I don't mind force reaction on grenades, grenade launchers, explosives, that's fine. But having it on shotguns and sniper rifles, I personally think it's silly, and I think it's very annoying. But if that's their direction that they want to go, I do respect it, but I still don't like it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.